This is our tour of Yellowstone via Snowmobile. We got picked up about 5:50 in the morning by our guide Cal, got outfitted and over to the staging area. As you can see here on the map, we went about 100 miles. We got to the staging area, got some explanation of how to ride the snowmobiles, some safety information, and we embarked. Once we entered Yellowstone via the south entrance, our first stop of the day was to get a picture in front of the sign here. We were really excited to see it, made a great photo op. We got off our sleds and spent a few minutes walking around and looking at the landscape. I haven't spent much time in this part of the country. It was absolutely stunning. They'd had about 250 inches of snow, so you can see everything packed down here. All the different geography and features like the trees and so on and so forth. It was quite beautiful. After we got done taking pictures and looking around, it was time to get back on to our snow machines and head to our next stop. We traveled about anywhere from 5 to 10 miles at a time, and we'd take a stop. As you can see here, we're riding through the park and experiencing the scenery and the geography, and we came to our next stop, which afforded us an opportunity to come inside, warm up a little bit, use the bathroom, stretch our legs before we got back out on the sleds and headed out to our next stop. Our next stop was to see the geyser Old Faithful. So here we are coming into the area where Old Faithful is. You can see there's some buildings and some yurts and a hotel. And we got off of our sleds and made our way over to where we had a vantage point of the geyser. The geyser eventually went off right on time and went for about 4 minutes. I didn't get it all in the clip here to keep this video a little bit more brief. Once we got done seeing the geyser and taking some pictures and experiencing what a thrill it was, we went inside of one of the yurts and we had some lunch that our guide Cal had packed for us. After lunch, we got back on our sleds and headed further north up into the park into the basin area. And in the basin area, you can see there are all these geological features where magma from the earth comes up close to the earth's core and it melts the snow. And the bison really like this, so it's easier for them to get down to the grass and to get something to eat. After admiring the bison and watching them have a snack, we headed further north up into the basin area, and we got to see some really interesting landscape where the magma comes up and heats some of the pools, and the color of the pools are based on different bacteria and how they react to temperature. So you can see all the different colors, you can see the boiling mud puddles and so on and so forth. So we got off and did about a quarter-mile loop and just admired this really interesting landscape. After seeing the basin area, it was time to get back on our sleds and start to head back to where we had started. So we'd made it to our furthest point north. Now we needed to work our way back out of the park to where we started. We had a great run, riding and checking out the woods and looking at the sky and the mountains and just some gorgeous landscape. We ended up at this waterfall here, and we had to get off and admire it and take a picture. We made it back to where we started. It was about 100 miles that we rode in total. We had probably 5 or 6 stops, great weather, probably 25 to 30 degrees, good visibility. All in all, it was an awesome trip. I've never quite seen anything like this. Lots of smiles on everybody's faces, and would totally recommend it if you're looking for something exciting and neat to do.